Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. You feel thirsty, you drink more water, you still feel thirsty, you drink more water, you still feel thirsty, you drink more water, and the pattern just keeps repeating. The problem is you're not replacing the sodium that you're losing, so your brain never gets the signal to tell you to stop drinking water. And in fact, sometimes things get worse. This is where men start getting things like dizziness, lightheadedness, fatigue, and that dry, parched feeling, in your mouth that you just can't get enough water to ever get rid of. Water without salt dilutes the very thing that your body needs. So instead of chasing water, we simplify and look to replace sodium. So for the first 30 days, remember this rule. Drink to thirst, don't force more water down, salt your food consistently. That's it. There's nothing wrong with your thirst mechanism. It's just not getting the right signal. There's nothing wrong with your body's thirst mechanism. You don't need to try to figure out how to override it. You just need to support it with sodium. You don't need to set timers so you can remember when to drink. You don't need to take a gallon water jug around with you everywhere you go. You don't need apps on your phone to tell you when to drink or how much you've had to drink. If you're trying to force water down all day, you're solving the wrong problem. That brings us to the question that I'm sure you're thinking right now. So how much water is enough water? And unfortunately, there's no fixed number that I can give you. There's no magic number of ounces you need to be drinking every day. Your needs and how much water you need to drink are going to change day to day. It all depends on your body size, how active you are, how hot it is outside, how much activity you're doing today, how much sodium you're losing. That's why the first 30 days especially, carnivore is not about optimizing the diet, it's about stabilization and getting your stable baseline set first. Salt does more work in our bodies than most people think. Salt your meat generously. Plain sea salt works, you don't need a fancy sea salt. You don't need a complicated electrolyte protocol. I say one electrolyte drink every day in the morning is plenty for you to start with. Don't overthink this and don't get extreme with this. This is how humans ate long before there were ever any such thing as Gatorade, Powerade, or the other sports and hydration drinks. If you're having headaches and dizziness and you're still salting your food like you should be salting your food, then add a pinch of sea salt to a couple of bottles of water that you're drinking each day to get more sodium. But the foundation is making sure you put enough salt on the food that you're eating. And here's how you know that you're getting enough salt. When your hydration starts to balance out and your sodium levels are right, your thirst settles down and you're not going to be constantly thirsty. The energy you feel is going to improve and get better. Dry mouth is going to fade and go away. And dizziness when you stand up is going to go away. This usually takes a couple of days to get your sodium levels right, so don't panic if a few hours later you're still feeling a little dizzy, a little lightheaded. Most carnivore problems that you experience your first 2 weeks come from this one simple mistake of not having enough salt in your diet. Don't make the mistake of drinking too much water and forcing yourself to drink water. Look at your salt intake first. Get your salt intake right and then drink when you're thirsty. This is not complicated, but on carnivore, when you're not eating carbs, it's a little bit different, and you have to think about the fact you need a lot more salt than you did when you were eating a standard American diet. And that's because on a standard American diet, all the processed carbs and junk foods you're eating keep your insulin levels high, so the insulin's telling your kidneys to retain the sodium. When you cut all the processed carbs out and all the carbs out, there's nothing in your body telling your kidneys to hold on to sodium, so it flushes out. So you need to intake a lot more sodium than you think you do. You need more salt on your food than you think you do in order to balance this out. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.